What's up, gamers? Welcome to the very first episode of 4 Gamers Only, or 4GO, as we like to call ourselves. We used to be RDGH, the Racial Diversity Gaming Hour, but it's time for new things. We were, just to tell you a bit about ourselves, we were on PSU, we were with PlayStation Universe. As a matter of fact, all of us, myself and my friends here that you're about to meet, we were on PlayStation Universe. But PlayStation Universe is a website for PlayStation news, and RDGH wasn't just about PlayStation news, so it wasn't exactly a good fit. But good news is we have a new beginning, we're completely independent, and we are here to talk about games. And when I say talk about games, I mean all kinds of games, alright? But we'll get to that a little more in just a little bit. First, I would like you to meet our crew here. We've got Ben Shillabeer Hall, a.k.a. Ben Sterling, a.k.a. Chili, a.k.a. This man has
the names.
He has many names. He is a man of many hats and many names and many faces. But Ben Sterling, how are you, Ben?
I'm not too bad, thank you. And how are you this fine evening?
I'm pretty good. I'm actually pretty good.
Good.
We can talk about that. Well, we can talk about myself in a little bit, and all of us in a little bit. But just for quick introduction's sake, that's Ben. I've also got Gary Bagdasarov with me, formerly known on RDGH as KGB Gary, because of his Russian upbringing, heritage thing.
Sounds more like a stereotypical thing.
Sounds more like a stereotypical. Where did you get that anyway? Did Dane give that to you?
Yeah, I think he did.
I think Dane gave that to you. Okay, so we'll see how that goes. But we've got myself. I'm Glenn Gordon. We've got Ben Shillabeer Hall and Gary Bagdasarov. There are also more of us working on 4GO here. We've got Kyle Prawl, who's also from PSU, and Fraser Miller, who actually also is from PSU. We're all from PSU. But we are here doing this more agnostic type podcast. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you follow along. And but first, let's talk a little bit about ourselves. I am a recent college graduate. Actually, I graduated about like 5 days ago from college with a bachelor's in mass communication. I work at Universal Studios. I live in Orlando, Florida. And I am a gamer. I own multiple systems. I've been a longtime PlayStation gamer. I bought my first PS2. I grew up with a PlayStation 1 my friend had. Bought a PS2 because my friends had a PlayStation 2. And moved on, bought a PS3, a PS4, and a PS Vita. I still have all of those. I now have my very first Xbox. I bought an Xbox One just recently. And I have a Nintendo 3DS and an original Nintendo Wii. So that's all I've got. Gary, how about you, sir? Tell us a little bit about KGB Gary, as he's known.
Well, I was born in the old Soviet Union. My family came here during the collapse of the old Soviet Union. We were pretty much sent to a random state. We didn't get to choose where we were going. We ended up in Utah, where I've been for the past 24 years now. I've been a gamer ever since the Sega Genesis was my first console. Loved it. Moved on from there to the PlayStation and so on and so forth. I have a lot of consoles, actually. I have every console Sony's made, almost every console Nintendo made, including the handhelds. I don't have any Microsoft consoles because I don't find anything that they have that I want. When it comes to the games, at least. But yeah, I also graduated college in digital entertainment and a bachelor degree in digital entertainment and game design. So yeah, that's pretty much me.
All right, and Mr. Ben.
I live in England. I come from southern England originally, London. But moved up to the north when I was pretty young. I am a really hardcore gamer, I'd say. I've been gaming since I was 4. I've got a Mega Drive, SNES, Game Boy, Game Boy Pocket, Game Boy Color, Wii, PS3, PS2, PS1, another PS1 because I thought why not. NES, Sega Saturn, Pocket Stations, PSP, PS Vita, pretty much every console I can get. I still want to buy a Virtual Boy though.
Wait a second, another PS1 just because why not?
Yeah, I saw one for cheap and thought, you know what, I kind of want that.
Is it identical to the other one?
No, it was I had the original fatty, the original
okay.
model.
Okay, gotcha.
And then they had the slim model, so I thought, well, might as well.
I was about to say, if it was like the same things, why not? Well, you kind of already have that.
No, I bought the slim model a lot later on when I got a Pocket Station. So.
Gotcha. Anyway, continue, sorry.
Anyway, I have a BTEC National Diploma in ICT. I have several certificates in the fields of IT as well. I did college a long time ago. It's way back then. Yeah, that is me.
That is you. So guys, here we are. There are more of us. There is Dane, who is... I'm not sure Dane's going to be working with us too much, but just in case he is, Dane, he is a Canadian who teaches in Japan and Korea. He's a very interesting person. He also has a novel called The Lasombra Files, Lasombra Files. You can find that on Amazon. I think it's pretty cheap. And let's see, there's also Fraser, who is a dude from Scotland who looks like Nelson Rowe from Infamous Second Son. So there's that. Anyway, guys, we're looking forward to a long life here. We're hoping to gain a lot of followers and have a long life on the internet here. RDGH, we got to episode 44. If you would like to hear those episodes, I've still got all of them. And if you would like to, just let me know. If I get enough requests, I'll probably just stick them up on the internet somewhere. But as for us, we are 4Gamers Only, or otherwise known as 4GO, and here's our mission. We are gamers, okay? And I say that, and you're probably thinking, well, I'm a gamer too, what's so special about that? Here's the thing. We are gamers and not fanboys, okay? And that probably sounds interesting too, because a lot of people who say, I'm not a fanboy, usually they're fanboys. Our mission is to talk about gaming. And when I say gaming, I don't mean systems. There's a difference between being a gamer and falling in love with systems. In my opinion, at least personally, when you have to call yourself a PlayStation gamer or an Xbox gamer, then you're losing sight of what it really means to be a gamer. You're limiting yourself on purpose to a certain console because of some weird notion of brand loyalty. Not necessarily because that console has all the better games, or not necessarily because that console does everything better, or not even necessarily because the other console is terribly bad, but just because of some kind of thing, some kind of brand loyalty thing. And that doesn't make sense. We're gamers. So gamers should love games. It doesn't matter what system they're on. So that's what we're about. We are a podcast for gamers only. We're not just about systems. So we will talk about Xbox, and we'll talk about PlayStation, we'll talk about Nintendo, but we will talk about them fairly. Here's what we promise. We promise fair and interesting analysis and discussion of different topics in gaming, regardless of console, regardless of brand or color loyalty. Actually, that's interesting because that was the theme behind Racial Diversity Gaming Hour, what we used to be. The whole thing was like racism with colors and the console logos and stuff, so that was cool. But same kind of idea, we love gaming. We play games to play games, not just to play games to honor a system. That doesn't make any sense. So here we are, and we are ready to go. Are you guys ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
Anything else to add? Or take away?
We also support PC as well, not just consoles.
We support PC, we do. Fraser is actually... I consider him our PC guru because he actually does a YouTube channel, Smash Gaming 999. He does Let's Plays and all sorts of stuff. So I consider him our PC guru. He has probably the most the closest connection with PC gaming. But so we talk about all different sorts of gaming, including you PC Master Race folks. So anyway, anything else to add, guys?
Not necessarily, no.
Not necessarily, no. Okay. We do have some tweets. We made this transition from RDGH last week with our announcement and execution of our final episode, and we have some tweets from our Twitter account. If you want to follow us on Twitter, we are at 4G only. And yes, I know that sounds like cell phones. At 4G only, number 4, letter G, ONLY. And just follow us, and we'll give you like questions of the week. We'll do discussions. We'll do all sorts of stuff. We'll retweet stuff. We'll post screenshots. We're interesting. So to get all sorts of different information about 4GO, about the podcast, about all sorts of stuff, just follow us on Twitter at 4G only. So we have some tweets. Tori D at Shifty25, he says, so why the name change, or will that be explained in the podcast? Spoiler alert, it was. If you're interested, head to psu.com, look for RDGH44, and you will hear all about this change and everything in that episode of RDGH. The Fonz, he's basically a good fan of ours, at SNova34Z on Twitter. He says, sorry that RDGH is over. It would have been nice if you could have reached 50, but it was a good run. Just know I will re-listen to all 44. Goodness, you were a dedicated man. So if you need help finding them, let me know. We have some new followers as well. Welcome aboard, guys. At Serpentine_X. He says, I've heard all season how Xbox has a better holiday lineup. With Sunset Overdrive failing to chart, plus Halo Master Chief Collection being broken. Thoughts? That's interesting. The thing about that is, Sunset Overdrive was launched with a bundle. And, when you say it fails to chart, the chart does not necessarily cover bundles. When NPG... I can't speak. What's their... NPD. That's it. When NPD releases their figures, first of all, the figures are just for the United States from NPD. And for 2, they don't include things like bundles. And this bundle was pretty big because it had a special console. The white Xbox One was not available anywhere except with this bundle. So the truth is that there are a lot more copies of Sunset Overdrive out in the wild right now. It's just that they were included in a bundle, and so they did not count toward the ranking. There is a possibility that Sunset Overdrive really would have charted if it weren't for the fact that it were in a bundle, but we have no way of knowing where it would be or if it would even chart in the first place. All I can say is, as someone who has played it, it is an amazing game. As for Halo Master... Sorry.
That's the problem. You should be complaining that Dragon Age is not on the list.
Dragon Age should be on the list. I mean, I have only played maybe half an hour of that game, just because of time. Like, I had graduation last week and the move down here, and I'm settling into my job and all of that stuff. So I haven't had a lot of time to play games, but I've played about half an hour of Dragon Age, and I'm already pretty much enthralled. I can tell that it's a huge game. And so, I mean, I am mystified. But I have heard rumblings that it could get a Game of the Year thing pretty soon.
Yeah.
Would that make you happy?
Oh, it already won one Game of the Year from the Game Awards. That made me happy.
Gary actually reviewed Dragon Age on PSU.
I did.
So it's like it's your baby, Gary.
Actually, I reviewed the 2 of the biggest games, I guess you can say, this year, according to a lot of Game of the Year nominations. So,
which games was Dragon Age and what else?
Shadow of Mordor.
Right, you did review Shadow of Mordor. Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one right now.
I think that's probably the most surprising addition to Game of the Year awards this time. Because I don't think anybody really thought that game was going to be as good as it was.
Yeah, actually, I still hear a lot of people who say that there are things that they wish were different. I don't have any specifics right now. It was just kind of in passing, but yeah, I've heard people say that it could be better than it is. Hello?
It went very quiet suddenly.
We lost Gary.
Oh, well.
Oh, well?
Oh, wow, I said.
Oh, wow. Okay, I thought you said, oh, well.
Nah. It just went... It's weird. It's gone so quiet.
I think the KGB went and found Gary. Anyway, sorry about that. We'll find Gary again soon. Just so you know, guys, we are living in different parts of the world, so this is done remotely. Occasionally, things like this happen. but that's okay. We will try to keep it running smooth. Anyway, Dragon Age and Shadow of Mordor, those are two really big games. Gary, what was, not Gary, Ben, anything to add here?
Not really. I'm not surprised. I don't know. Sunset Overdrive's a new IP, so I'm kind of not really surprised it didn't make the charts, but a lot of new IPs don't really make MPDs. Very rarely, unless there's a really big name behind it. And Insomatics hasn't been that big of a name for a long time now, really.
Wait, what name?
Insomatics, isn't it? Insomniacs, that's it.
Insomniac.
I'm back. Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry.
Welcome back.
He returns.
I accidentally disconnected my my webcam.
Okay.
Welcome back.
Welcome
Sorry.
back. Happens to the best of us. That's
Yeah,
okay.
you were asking me something, Glenn.
It's only episode 1 of our show, you know. It's only our first impression, you know.
So disorganized.
So disorganized. What was I doing? I don't know what I was asking you.
You asked me something about Shadow of Mordor.
I did. Oh, I was saying I think some people said that it could have been better than it was in some regards. I don't have any specifics, but since you reviewed it, could you think of ways that it could have been improved?
Oh, I think the transversal could have been improved a little bit. It seems like it had the same transversal issues that Assassin's Creed does.
Traversal.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
Where you try to jump in one direction, but because it's like automatic to save your life, you jump in a different direction.
Did Ubisoft develop it?
No, it was developed by Monolith Productions.
Monolith Productions.
Published by Warner. Yeah, Monolith did the Fear franchise.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember those games, amazing games.
I am mystified as to why. I mean, Assassin's Creed has been out for forever. I mean, why is that traversal problem still there? Why?
Because they use the same engine with the same program. That's the problem. This is why the same glitch of me jumping over a fence and flying into the sky and falling to my death exists to this day since Assassin's Creed 2.
Ubisoft in 2014. I'm looking forward to seeing this year go away for Ubisoft. It's been a bad year for them. Let's see, our friend here at Serpentine_X, he mentioned Halo Master Chief being broken. Yes, Halo Master Chief did launch in a rather poor state. However, it has since been fixed, to my knowledge. I've been playing it a bit. It's been pretty smooth for me. I've heard reports that whatever bugs came out with launch have been smoothed out, have been squished. They're good. So give Halo Master Chief, I'm assuming that you have Master Chief if you're mentioning it this way, give Master Chief another try, or if you haven't, give it a try. I think it should be good right now.
Also, remember, if you've purchased it before the 17th of December, you'll be getting a free update with Halo ODST and Halo Spartan Ops.
Oh, good, because I purchased it before December. So that's value for me, I guess.
Yeah.
Sweet. We have just one more tweet here, guys. We sometimes have more. It's just that it's been a big transition week, so we've been a little slacking on our Twitter. But here it is, once more from Fonz. He says, when do you think the announcement for the limited or collection edition for Uncharted 4 will be? Was there a collector's edition for Uncharted 3?
Yes, there was.
Oh, yeah.
I thought so.
Wasn't that expensive Golden Dagger edition I really wanted?
That was very limited, and
Yeah.
that was like $2,000, I think.
I know, and I wanted it.
Yeah, the Uncharted 3 came with like a cupboard thing. It came with the Drake statue and I think the Nathan Drake belt buckle that he wears in the game.
See, I just can't get into most collector's editions. I went for the Destiny edition. I mean, the Destiny limited edition, just because, I don't know, I was really into Destiny. Right now, I just feel like the stuff that I have, like, it came with this little book that has, it's really cool because they made it look all old, even though it's really new. And it has information about different weapons and stuff in it. I mean, I don't look at it. I don't open it. It's still in its box. I don't care about it. The only thing I really like from the collector's editions is the steelbook. I love the steelbooks. Those mean the most to me. The rest of the stuff, why do I want a statue? Like, why do I want a belt buckle. You know, I mean, that's just
Oh,
it's just
if
me.
you have belts,
I have belts, but my belts came with buckles.
maybe you want a fancy new buckle.
Well,
My belt buckle's gonna go under my shirt. Like no one's gonna see it. That's like buying underwear. Like who cares?
that was awesome, man. Well, if you have belts,
Well, if you have belts.
this guy sometimes.
Ben. Anyway, as far as when it's announced, I really can't say. Obviously, it'll be announced before the game. I'd imagine maybe 6 months. Maybe about 6 months before the game. That's just a guess. Just because they need time to really sell and push that before it comes out. It's really just up to Naughty Dog and Sony. Really, I can't really say. What do you guys think?
I talk about collector's editions. I still can't believe how expensive the Batman edition is in Europe. It's ridiculous.
How much is it?
£170.
Why?
Because it comes with a fully transformable Batmobile.
Why would I spend... Listen, when I was a kid, I could get fully transformable things for like $30.
Yeah.
Why would I pay $170 for a fully transformable Batmobile?
Remember, it's £170, which is what, $300?
Oh my goodness, doesn't make any sense.
Especially as it's $170.
Just doesn't make any sense. But whatever. I don't know. When do you think that they'll announce a collector edition for Uncharted?
E3.
E3. That's a good guess. I'd almost say Gamescom.
I don't think they'll announce it at all at a game show.
No.
I think they'll announce the release date and then probably at E3, and then they'll just, like you said, not 6 months, but a few months before it comes out, they'll announce the collector's edition.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll announce it when they announce the game. By the way.
But
I
probably
haven't seen a game that's been announced with a release date to get a collector's edition on the same announcement date. It's always a few months after.
Right.
So
I would just give it like as early, just the earliest, 6 months, but probably a lot later.
Remember Far Cry 4? They announced the pre-order bonus before the game got announced.
Really, that's interesting.
Yeah, I saw the
Was
pre-order.
that a mistake?
I don't know, but I saw a pre-order bonus on Twitter, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Far Cry 4's now announced."
Okay. Nice. That's a messy way to do it, but I guess it works.
Oh, you Ubisoft.
I don't even know. Ubisoft in 2014, man. Watch Dogs, The Crew, Assassin's Creed. Well, The Crew's been okay, but Assassin's Creed.
my faith in the Division is now at 10%.
Just because of Ubisoft?
Yeah.
Well, The Division doesn't come out to...
because they keep adding more studios to help make that game, and that's a no-no at this point.
The Division comes out in 2015, and maybe the curse for Ubisoft is just limited to 2014.
I don't know. It seems like there's a curse every other year for all these companies. Okay, if 1 year it's EA with Battlefield 4, then it's Ubisoft this year. Next year it's probably going to be Activision.
Activision is already stupid for screwing up Destiny.
There you go.
Like, what the heck? What was that? What was that? That's when...
You know what that was? I'll tell you what that was. That was the head creator of I think it was the studio or even the game, left the company, and the story writer that was writing the story left the company, and the head musician of the company left that was making the music for the game. These guys have been with the company since it was founded. All three of them left. And
Wait, the musician's gone.
What?
Wait, you said the musician is gone.
Yeah, the person who originally made the soundtrack to Destiny, he left.
Oh, sweet Jesus, yes. Yes. Yes.
But I like the soundtrack to Destiny.
Oh, I love the soundtrack, but he's the reason why we have no sound options in the game.
Oh. Yeah.
His contract means that he will not allow people to mute his music while playing the game.
That's really stupid.
So, as much as I like his music, I also like to be able to hear my friends when I'm in a party chat.
Yeah, that shows a bit of arrogance then, doesn't it? When it's like, oh, it's my music, you can't possibly mute my music. I must force you to listen to my music.
You will like it.
That's one of the good things about the PlayStation's the Gold headset. You have the option to turn down the game sound and turn up the chat. So, I mean, I think Xbox has that too. I just don't have an Xbox headset yet. So
You can also do it in the party chat as well.
yeah. So there you go. Take that, musician.
Yeah, so now you know why the story in that game is pretty much dreadful.
Yeah.
Especially in its presentation. Pretty much, you get a better story reading the Grimoire cards than playing the game.
I don't even. I mean, I don't understand the whole Grimoire card thing. It feels like, Activision screwed the story up, and so Bungie's like, here, how do we have a way to just make the story exist somehow?
Yeah, well,
I don't care about. I go there and I read maybe one or two of them, and then I just don't care about them anymore.
Oh, that's what all the rumors that came out after the game released about the story was when the head writer left. They didn't know how to continue with the story, so they kind of just cut it all up and put it on these cards instead, and let people kind of just, we don't have time to make all these fantastic cutscenes and tell a huge story. Let's put them on these cards instead.
I hate to see so much potential, and I've seen this a lot lately. I hate to see so much potential get messed up by some kind of company politics, or someone leaving, or some kind of nonsense. I hate that. I really do. Like, as a gamer, it's like, what could I have been playing? What could I have bought? What could have been? If it weren't for all of this mess going around and messing everything up.
Agreed. I'm all for delays, man. All for delays.
Yes. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for sending us in your tweets. Again, you can join the fun. You can join the discussion. Just head to Twitter and follow us at 4G Only, at number 4, letter G, ONLY. Let's move on to a news story here, and what better way to begin 4GO than to talk about boobs. The ESRB, this comes from GameIdealist.com. ESRB has gotten a copy of both PlayStation 4 and Xbox One versions of a game called Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires. It got a teen rating, and what's interesting about this article, actually, the article points to something interesting. It points to exactly what the ESRB said about the game. Let me just read this. This is a quote from the ESRB. During the course of the game, some female characters are depicted in outfits that expose large amounts of cleavage and or buttocks. Their breasts sometimes jiggle while jumping and performing attacks.
What Dynasty Warriors are they playing?
I don't know. And then, let's see, there are a few more here. Game Idealist said, aside from those suggestive parts, Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires is your typical T-rated hack and slasher, as there are cries of pain even though you won't be seeing any blood or dismemberment. ESRB said, this is a tactical action game in which players assume the role of warriors battling for control of ancient China. Players engage in hack and slash combat with hordes of enemy soldiers using swords, spears, crossbows, hammers, and bladed weapons, because I guess swords are not bladed weapons. Battles are highlighted by sword slashing effects, impact sounds, and cries of pain. Enemies collapse to the ground when killed, as things that die tend to do. Last but not least, ESRB also had an issue with some alcohol references. ESRB said the game also contains several alcohol references in the dialogue. For example, his love for wine and drink more often than not led to his defeat in battle. And I propose we finish off any barrel of wine we can find in the castle. So that's just how the ESRB describes things. But that first one, just how they specified, their breasts sometimes jiggle while jumping and performing attacks. Nice detail. Nice attention to detail, ESRB.
So you telling me breasts aren't made of cement and are not just fixed in a position that don't move ever? Oh
Yeah.
my god! Tell the police, tell the models, tell everyone.
That's what gets me. It's like sometimes their breasts sometimes jiggle while they're jumping. Like, what? Why do they not jiggle all the time? That's kind of how it works, doesn't it? I mean, I don't want to. I'm not like a doctor or anything, but I'm pretty sure those are supposed to move. So,
They're not made of bones. So
gamers, you can take comfort in the fact that if you notice large amounts of cleavage and or buttocks, the ESRB has taken that into account.
I just want to know when Dynasty Warriors became this way. Every Dynasty Warriors I ever played, they're all fully clothed, armored chicks with very small breasts.
Yeah, well, there's a bit of a picture here, a screenshot of sorts. Let me send this to you.
Well, isn't Empire's normally the one where you can make your own game anyway? Make your own characters.
Well, perhaps. Because I know they've always
no. A cutscene with slightly some cleavage.
I mean, this... I guess you could consider it large amounts of cleavage. I know this is audio, so listeners, I apologize. You can't see this. I'll probably post a link on our Twitter. That's at 4G only. Shows two characters. One is a male, one is a female. The female has like this top on, and it goes back around her neck, and it goes over her breasts. And I guess it is a large amount of cleavage because the cut, it goes like around her neck and then down over her breasts and then down to under her breasts, and then it ends there. So I guess technically that's a large amount of cleavage, but her breasts really are not showing much.
Yeah, like you can't see her breasts at all. It's like,
I think the most disgusting thing about that picture is that really bad texture in the background.
Yeah, that's a really bad texture. I hate that texture. It's so blurry. What the heck? And there's a tree going through it. There's definitely a tree going through that wall.
Yeah.
So I think ESRB, I think that's more offensive. I think that game should be rated. I don't even know what it should be rated. I was hoping.
Right T for textureless.
okay.
Yeah.
It's still got a teen rating, so apparently they don't care.
Right. Rated B for Back to the Drawing Board. But anyway, interesting from the ESRB. Thank you, ESRB, for that insights into Dynasty Warriors 8.
Which is all by Dynasty Warriors games are amazing.
I want to work for the ESRB. If I get to play games like 5 months before they come out, I'll be happy.
Hey, I mean, I'd be careful with that because then there's like the game tester, and they essentially get to do the same thing. But I guess you also have to consider.
Yeah, but they're not testing; they're just playing the game to see what they can.
No, they're not. Like, they're not.
What rating it is.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, they're playing. Oh look, her buttocks is showing. Gotta write that down right now.
Oh snap! I see butt cheeks. We're gonna have to upgrade this to an M.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god, he punched a female. Female violence. Write that down.
By the way, Gary, just as by the way, listeners, I play Guild Wars 2. I love Guild Wars 2. I haven't played it in a long time because of school and other games and other things. But I love Guild Wars 2, and gamersforthewin.co.uk has given it a 9.8. The Winter's Day Festival. Every Christmas they do a Winter's Day Festival, and that got a 9.8 here. So that's pretty awesome. Has nothing to do with anything, so let me move forward here. Halo 5, the multiplayer, the Halo 5 Guardians multiplayer, I believe, is in effect right now. Am I correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Amazingly, no weeks so far.
I need to get that. Like, I'm not sure how to get that. I'll have to. Where's my copy of Master Chief? I don't know. I'll have to find that. I want to give it a try. I've never played Halo before getting my Xbox One, so I'm interested. But anyways, there's been some changes as far as Halo 5's aiming, and as far as changes go, when you change anything, people get upset. Like, for instance, Windows. Microsoft decided to remove the Start menu for Windows 8 and replace it with this whole Metro design that they have. And, that's fine. Metro has its successes and it also has its flaws, but people flipped out because there was no Start menu. Like, there are people who just can't handle change. which sucks because that has Microsoft stuck in a position where, now we always have to have a start menu because our people can't handle it if we don't. But anyway, there's been a change to the aiming in Halo, and I'm not applying this to Halo, by the way. This change, I haven't gone through Halo enough to know whether or not this change is literally great, good or bad. But for me, I think it'll just be different for anyone. This is on Kotaku. A good amount of the weapons in your arsenal would only fire from the hip, says Kotaku, compared to most first-person shooters. They had no scope system, but in Halo 5, 343 Industries are implementing something they call Smart Link, which is essentially an aiming down the sight's scoping feature, and some players who have early access to trying this new feature out are not happy with this change. There's no penalty to hip fire. This comes from Josh Holmes. He's the studio head for Guardians. He tweeted early last month that the system is not going to be a penalty for hip fire, but it does narrow down the burst spread, the spread of automatic weapons. So it's different. I'm not saying that it's really good or bad, but it's definitely different. And so it's causing people to have to readjust, and people don't like to readjust. But anyway, here's what 343 says on this. I'm going to read this verbatim from Kotaku.com. It says, I want to clarify the function of the Smart Link system. There is no penalty to hip fire while using Smart Link. It's really important to us that you maintain freedom of movement, your shots remain accurate, etc., so that we aren't disrupting the natural movement and flow of Halo. In the case of automatic weapons, for example, the AR and the SMG, there's a slight improvement to that shot spread while zoomed in via Smart Link. However, the obvious trade-off is that getting shot while using Smart Link will de-scope you, disrupting any benefit. As I said in the video that we released earlier, we don't want people to feel like they need to use Smart Link to be successful at the game. If you watch our pro team play and dominate, they say, that's their words, not mine, you'll see them switching back and forth between hipfire and Smart Link, depending on the situation and range to target. A reminder that Guardians is still very much in development, and this beta is about getting the game in the hands of fans so that we can use your feedback to improve our multiplayer experience for the game's launch next fall. I appreciate all of the impressions that people have shared so far, and look forward to receiving even more feedback once we launch the beta on December 29, which is interesting because it's December 23rd, so there's that. So it sounds like the biggest thing I see that would annoy me is the fact that if you get shot, you're out of your scope. I mean, that's disorienting, that's distracting. That can throw you off and immediately get you killed. I don't like the sound of that right away. But gamers, I will say, if you are seriously having trouble adjusting to this Smart Link thing, I want to just reiterate what they said. They said it's a beta. And the whole point of the beta is to get feedback so that we can make Halo run, or so that they can make Halo run as smoothly as possible. Guys, anything to say on Smart Link and Halo and the changes?
Like you said, people get angry when there's changes. If there's no penalty to hip fire, that's a little ridiculous, in my opinion. But then again, you're in the future, so who says they have penalties there? But
there's no such thing as penalties in the future.
Yeah, maybe the guns are so accurate it doesn't matter. Yeah. But it's gonna get fixed. I don't think Halo is a franchise that Microsoft or even 343 Studios want to I guess alienate the fan base in any way. And in a way, it's good, but it's also kind of bad because a lot of the purist fans of a game like Halo, they're gonna, in my opinion, they're gonna hold it back from innovating in any way. Because if you try to change, the mechanics, even if you try to make them better, go with the times, I guess you can say. Things change. Sometimes you just have to have look down the iron sights to shoot, and people are getting upset that, the game might actually have that. They don't want that. And in a way, it's like they're holding the game back because they want it to remain exactly the same. Because that is what they found fun and exciting. And I think Microsoft and 343 Studios will take that so much into account that they will not try to innovate the game anymore. Like it'll just remain the same. The multiplayer will always remain the same. The shooting mechanics may always remain the same, and nothing will change. And then the franchise will start to die out because it's not innovating in any way whatsoever. But that's just my opinion.
So there need to be changes, but at the same time, people can't handle changes.
Yeah, people don't like change, and I understand that. It's their favorite franchise. It's their baby.
Right.
And it's changing, and they don't want it to change. It's like watching your kid grow up and then leave home one day.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the same thing. It happens with every franchise. It's happened with Mario, with Sonic, with Zelda. People don't like those changes, but eventually they grow into them, and there you go.
Oh boy, did it ever happen with Sonic.
Nobody grew into Sonic's changes, that's for sure.
I loved Sonic Heroes. That was the first game I bought when I bought my PS2 all those years ago. I bought Sonic Heroes. I loved that game. And everyone was like, oh, I don't want to play as Knuckles and I don't want to play as Tails. And I think that was just because they were so used to playing like the whole speed thing with Sonic alone. And there's fun in that, which is good. But I don't know, I really enjoyed the different characters because I hadn't played the original Sonic games that much. I'd played them now and then, but I hadn't played them enough to develop that kind of relationship with them. And so when I played Sonic Heroes, I really loved it, and I think I got the experience that Sega was intending. But a lot of people who were used to the old Sonic, they were like, "What the heck is this? What are you doing?"
Like the best example I can say is with Medal of Honor and Call of Duty. Medal of Honor was the pinnacle of the shooter at the time. It was a World War II shooter, and they were huge at that time. And the best Medal of Honor that came out at the time was Frontline. You get to go through the Normandy beach. It reminded everybody of Saving Private Ryan. But even in that game, when you try to get better aim, like nowadays, if you look, you press the R2 button or R1 button or whatever, you go into the iron sight look. The game didn't have that. The camera just zoomed in. And then here comes Call of Duty, which was also a World War II shooter, and they added that, and it was the first game to add that. It was the first first-person shooter to have this iron sight look, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, this is amazing! Look how easier it is to kill people in this game now." And then all of a sudden, Medal of Honor releases another version, and it doesn't have that, and all of a sudden you see Call of Duty start rising, and everybody wants this new feature in their game now. The aiming down with the iron sights. So Medal of Honor eventually had to change that for their game. They couldn't keep it the same, even though it was the biggest game of the time. But
them's the breaks. That's how it goes.
You just have to accept that change is going to happen. You can't keep something the same for so long.
No. I mean,
this is why 2D games have to move to 3D eventually. Like as much as it pains me, sometimes I want my games to still remain 2D. Like Castlevania, for example. I love Castlevania 2D. I will always play 2D Castlevania. But it hasn't had the best run as a 3D Castlevania game. The most success they've had with 3D is with the Lords of Shadow franchise, which wasn't even done from their own in-house studio. It was outsourced to a European studio.
Yeah, changes got to happen. So, I mean, you've got to accept it. You've got to work with it. You've got to at least give it a chance. If it just really, literally just sucks, then yeah, that's one thing. But if you are crapping all over it just because it's different, that's a problem. For example, I love Apple, by the way. I'm on a 27-inch iMac. It's the best computer I've ever had, and this is coming from a 2009 MacBook Pro. I love this iMac, and I've used Windows computers, by the way, for years and years, so don't jump down my throat about that. But I like Apple's products. I have an iPhone. The problem is there are some Apple people who I am seriously concerned for. For example, when they introduced the new Mac Pro, the one that looks like a little trash can, I went online and people flipped out. They were like, there's no glowing... They were upset over the stupidest things, like there's no glowing Apple logo, and they were like, Steve Jobs is rolling in his bed in his coffin or whatever, and it's black, it's not silver like all the other stuff. It's like nothing to do with the performance, nothing to do with the actual machine. Just the fact that it's different from everything else, and in ways that are not consequential in the slightest. Apple fans are flipping out about the Mac Pro, and it's kind of sad, actually. Mac Pro's a great machine, but nitpicking over stuff like that's silly. So give change a chance. Give change a chance.
Yes. Ben, are you still alive out there?
Yeah, I'm still alive.
Okay.
But it doesn't glow, Glenn. It doesn't glow.
Too bad.
Yeah, it was kind of the same thing with the PlayStation controller. Remember when the PS3 controller came out and it didn't have vibration? Everybody flipped out. It's like, no, I want my vibration back immediately.
Well,
the controller is exactly the same, but they wanted to shake for whatever reason.
Well, honestly, I could see that, because the vibration is feedback. It's not just about shaking. The vibration actually kind of serves a purpose. Like with the vibration, for a fact that you hit something the right way, or that you're driving off the road. So that's actually a feedback thing. And if vibration went away from my controllers, I'd probably be a little unhappy. Like I'd have to get used to it again, I guess. But
yeah, but you played games without vibration for a long time. Well, maybe you haven't. I have.
My handheld games don't vibrate.
Like half of the time, I don't even notice if my controller vibrates anymore or not. Like that's how much I just don't care too much for it anymore.
Yeah.
Like I just can't tell sometimes. But I don't know.
Change is gonna come.
Yeah.
Change is gonna come. Let's see if I can find my browser. I minimized it and now it's gone. Oh, here it is. Okay, so Xbox gamers, Phil Spencer has, quote, interesting news for both Xbox and PC gamers coming in January. This comes from DualShockers. This was questions from the fans. Phil Spencer's pretty much the face of the Xbox brand right now, which it needed, because Don Matrick... I'm just going to leave that sentence hanging. He was asked if the new Gears of War that's coming out will include 3D support, the way Gears of War 3 did. However, here's what he said. He replied to @SeanJohn004, "We haven't announced a new Gears, but we aren't spending a lot of time focusing on 3D in our first-party games right now." So it sounds like Microsoft is moving on from 3D, and it's not a priority from them. And they have not announced new Gears. Let's just be clear about that right now. He was also asked about the Windows 10 event on January 21st, and whether or not that would include something interesting for both PC and Xbox gamers. He said, "I think what we will show will be interesting to both Windows and Xbox gamers." So very complete and matter-of-fact answer. Thank you, Mr. Spencer. Another fan said, the generation's mostly been about graphics, and he said to this person, before this gen is over, we will see next-gen tech, not just graphics, physics, etc., from lots of companies. Games innovation is strong. A fan mentioned that the thing's been about graphics, what else is going on in the game industry besides graphics? And he basically says, a lot of stuff is coming from a lot of different companies, and innovation in games is strong. Remember that. That one speaks to me a bit, because everyone's flipping out about pixel counts and graphics and all sorts of things, and missing the entire point of being a gamer. That's what 4GO is about right there. There's all sorts of stuff going on. The games industry right now, I'd say, is stronger than it's been in a long, long, long time. So don't worry about it. We're going places. Here's something he also said. Big thanks to @Cappy_Nathan for being an inspirational studio that always pushes themselves to do something special. So that's Capybara Games, by the way. They developed Super Time Force. So January 21st is the Windows 10 event in question. Windows 10 is going to have an impact on all Microsoft devices, including the Xbox One, and so I guess we'll see what happens. I know that you guys are kind of wrapped up in the PlayStation world working at PSU. What do you think Microsoft could have for the Windows 10 event? And just as another question, do you think the Windows 10 event is kind of a response to the PlayStation Experience event this month? Or was that planned beforehand? Am I just being stupid?
Well, Microsoft already had its own event around the
Microsoft
same
had
time.
that. Okay, all right, good.
It had an event 2 days before the PlayStation experience.
I don't know. I just kind of thought of that. I was like, Microsoft's having a new event. That's interesting.
I think the thing that's going to be announced is the leaked. There was a screenshot a while back, a few days ago, I think it was. It might have been longer than that now, actually, where they showed there's a Windows 10 Xbox Marketplace application like Smart Glass for Windows 10.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that'll be the link between the two. They'll be announcing the fact that Windows 10 will come with a Smart Glass integration.
Let me just move away one moment to talk about Smart Glass. Let's first give PS4 a little break here because the PlayStation app launched last year with the PlayStation 4. Smart Glass was out with the Xbox 360, so it's been out a lot longer, and Microsoft is really experienced at developing OSs. But Smart Glass is actually a really amazing app. I mean, PlayStation app does some of the things that Smart Glass does, but between the design of Smart Glass and the features that it has and the way it interacts with the Xbox console, I mean, my mind is blown, really. If you have an Xbox One and you are not using Smart Glass, go download that right now. You're missing out. That's a good app. Ben,
Well, my phone has Remote Play.
your phone has Remote Play. That's something too, but that's not the same as like the secondary app that PlayStation made.
True.
But Remote Play is definitely a great innovation. I'm not saying that PlayStation is not moving on the mobile market. I'm saying that the companion app is not as good.
By the way, if anyone's got a phone with Android phone with, I think it's 2.2 or above and 1 gig of RAM, on the XDA forums, there is the official Remote Play app that's been broken up so that anyone with a Android phone can use it. Not just the Z3 that Sony forces people to get.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Remote Play is going to come to other phones soon. It's just that it's starting on the Z3, which to me makes sense. I mean, Google does that when they have a new service that they're going to launch to everyone. They start it on their own stuff first. I mean,
That's true, but if you go to XDA, develop it, I can't remember what it's called, look it up. It's a good site. They already have it ported over for people.
Right. Interesting. On a side note, I wonder why Capybara Games, their Twitter is Cappy_Nathan. Like, who's Nathan? Anyway, I don't have ADHD, I promise. Anyway, Ben, were you done with your point, or did you have more to say?
Yeah, I'm done.
You're done. Gary, anything?
On that subject?
On Microsoft's or Capybara Games' unusual Twitter?
Copyright, not so much. The Windows 10 event, I think, is mostly going to be about Windows 10, to tell you the truth. I don't think, even though they said they're going to have some Xbox stuff there, I don't think it's going to be as big as we're thinking. I think it's going to be more of the new Windows 10, pretty much.
Right.
And they might announce something like it's going to have some sort of integration with Xbox One in the firmware update, but I don't see a lot of Microsoft stuff being announced there at all. Yeah.
Oh, you mean a lot of Xbox stuff?
Yeah, a lot of Xbox stuff. Sorry.
Because Windows 10 is technically Microsoft stuff.
My bad. Sorry.
That's all right. So that's pretty interesting. Windows 10 event is, I believe, I moved away from the article. It said December 21, I believe. I mean, January 21. That's it. Why did I say December? December 21 was a few days ago, so that would not work at all. Let's move forward here. Let's talk about some deals. I like deals. You guys like deals, right?
I love deals. I'm actually about to buy a deal right now.
Everyone loves deals. What are you buying?
I'm going to buy Alien Isolation on the PlayStation Store.
How much is it?
It's $30 if you have PlayStation Plus, so it's 50% off. But I also have a $15 credit that I got last month. So I'm only going to pay $15 for the game.
Oh, well, there you go. We all love deals, and there are some really interesting deals out there. We were just talking about Xbox, so let's start with Xbox. You can get a really interesting Xbox One bundle from Newegg right now It's basically the Assassin's Creed Unity bundle. It comes with Assassin's Creed Unity and Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. I love Black Flag, by the way. I had Unity for about a day and then I took it back. But I loved Black Flag. This is going for $349.99 in the U.S. It includes the AC Unity bundle of the Xbox One. It also includes a 12-month Xbox Live Gold membership, which is a $60 value there, and you also get a $40 Newegg promotional gift card. All of that for $349.99. So that's a pretty good deal. I don't shop at Newegg a lot, but if I had $40, I might. So I guess that's promotion for them as well.
I do want to say though, for those who do have gold, renew it if it's expiring for next month because you're getting some pretty good games next month for games with gold.
Absolutely. Actually, you know what I did? I shop at Walmart, and when I shop at Walmart, they're doing this thing called Savings Catcher. So when you get your receipt at Walmart, it has a little QR code on there. You open the Walmart app, you scan the QR code, and it sends you your receipt to Walmart or whatever. And what Walmart does is they check your location and they run what you bought against ads from other companies in your area. And if those ads advertise a lower price than what you paid at Walmart, you get the difference back on your Walmart account. And at some point, whenever you feel like it, they accumulate, so you can take that cumulative amount and turn it in for a Walmart gift card whenever you feel like it. And right now there's a promotion going on until the end of February. I guess Walmart's partnered with a company called Bluebird. You know those reloadable gift cards, like the Visa gift cards? You put money on them and you just use it like a debit card.
Yeah.
They have one of those, and until February 28th, if you redeem your Savings Catcher balance to a Bluebird card, Bluebird will double the amount that you get. You can only use it at Walmart, but that was going to be the case anyway because it was going to be a Walmart gift card. It's in the form of something called Walmart Bucks or something like that for Bluebird. And so you redeem your Savings Catcher amount to your Bluebird card, and they will double the amount that you get. I somehow got like $20 on my Savings Catcher at one point, and so I redeemed it to my Bluebird card right when my 1 month trial for Xbox Gold was going to run out. And I paid about $13 and got a year of Xbox Live just from Savings Catcher. So, I mean, keep your eyes out for stuff like that. You can save a lot of money. Like that's a good $47 that I didn't pay for a year of Xbox Live Gold. So,
yes,
that works.
And just say one of those games that you're getting is Witcher 2: Assassins of Kings, which is a phenomenal game.
Witcher 2 Assassin Kings.
Yes.
Oh.
It's a free game. It's for the 360. Sorry.
Okay. Oh, one of the games with gold things.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
And that game is top notch.
Top notch.
Where are you for The Witcher 3? So.
Everyone's waiting for The Witcher 3. That's right.
Oh, which was delayed.
There's another deal here, this time for PlayStation on Amazon. It's currently available as I speak. Gary showed this to us earlier. You can get a PlayStation 4 console right now with 2 free games for $3.99, which makes this next bundle even more confusing because you can also get a PlayStation 4, a free game, and a free headset for $3.99. It's like pretty much the same thing except one less free game. I don't know. Which one's more important to you? Personally, I'd go with the headset. Or actually, no, I wouldn't, because the headset there is the silver headset, it looks like. So I like my gold headset. I have a PlayStation Gold headset. It's really nice. So I'd go for that, and I'd just take the 2 free games. I don't know.
I mean, if you could substitute one of those for a 3rd free game, that'd be nice.
Actually, no, I wouldn't, because the headset costs more. So I could buy the free game.
You already have a good headset.
Yeah, if you already have a good headset, it doesn't matter. So, PlayStation 4, 2 free games, or PlayStation 4 free headset and free game for $399.99. There's also a bundle with a PlayStation 4, 2 free games, and a camera, but it is not currently available. So if you're looking for a PlayStation 4, now seems like a great time... losing my voice. Now seems like a great time to get it. my current position at Universal, I yell a lot, so I'm I don't know. I feel like I should have lost my voice a long time ago. So there you go. There's some good deals out there. Did you say there was another one for Nintendo, Gary?
No, it's not a deal. It's just Nintendo always just has a bunch of bundles.
Oh,
so.
yeah, that's true. They always do. Ben, you're so quiet. Anything to say?
Nope, I'm good. Thank you.
Ben was just getting over being sick, so I'm glad you're feeling better today, buddy.
Thank you.
As he coughs. Okay. I won't jinx it any further, I promise. Speaking of Nintendo, Nintendo has a bit of some rumors flying around about a new Nintendo console. Shigeru Miyamoto is responsible for this directly. He said something that had gamers' interests piqued. Here's what he said. He said, "I think that maybe when we release the next hardware system, you can look forward to seeing Mario take on a new role or in a new game. For the time being, our focus is on the Wii U hardware, but Nintendo as a whole has groups working on ideas for new hardware systems. While we're busy working on software for the Wii U, we have production lines that are working on ideas for what the next system might be." And so this has people speculating and saying, "Oh, there's a new Nintendo console coming soon. That's great." And there's speculation about the specs. Will it have a processor like the PS4 and the Xbox One, etc. My question to this is it really worth the attention? Because, look at the PS4. The PS4 began its plans. That Mark Cerny and the others, they started meeting about the PS4 not that long after the PS3 was released. I think it was like a year later or less. It might still have been 2006 when they met about it. It's natural to get your current product out and then right away begin planning what's next. So I'm wondering if this attention is not a little bit misplaced. But in either case, Gary and Ben, what are you thinking here?
Oh, I'm going to say this. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Ben.
I was going to pretty much say what you said anyway, Glenn.
Me?
Sony's already, spoilers. Yeah, most console developers already start planning the next console after the current one is out. Did you know that Microsoft be working on a new Xbox?
And guess what? Don't tell anyone, but Sony might be working on the new PS5.
I also heard from a hairdresser who knows a person, who knows a brother, who knows a friend of a friend that does someone's floor that Nintendo might make another handheld.
Will it be called the 3DS?
No, it'd be the new 3DS.
It'll be the new 3DS. That's right. That's how Nintendo rolls. Gary, before we went on that, you had some. You said, and I quote, "I will say this."
I have no words for you people.
You should. You should have lots of work for us. We're worth it.
I was gonna say I actually would not be surprised if and when Nintendo releases a new console. It will probably be maybe a year before the next Sony or Microsoft console comes out. I think they're gonna wait it out.
I think they could wait it out. The Wii U is growing nicely, so it would be a shame to cut it off right now, especially when Super Smash Bros. Just came out for it. So it'll probably be some time before we see the next Nintendo console. But I do feel weird about them waiting that long. They did that this time, and it feels like they're behind. It literally feels like they're a generation behind.
I think what happened is I think they released the Wii U too soon after the Wii launched. And thus they kind of just made it a little more powerful than the PS3 and 360, but not too much. But I think they just released it too soon.
Right.
They probably thought, oh, we have all this money, let's release it, because they made a lot of money on the Wii.
Oh yes, they did. The Wii. Oh my goodness.
This is why I think they can afford to take these losses, because they had so much money made on that console.
I'll never forget. It was like a movie back when I ordered my original Wii. I was calling around to see if anyone had them in stock, and I called a store, and I'm never going to forget this. I called the store and I asked, "Do you have any Wii consoles in stock?" and the lady laughed. Like she laughed at me. Like that only happens in movies. Like what the heck? Why are you? I was mad at one point because this stupid person was laughing at me. I'm like, do you know I can have your job? But I mean, oh my goodness, I'm not gonna forget that. That was the first time someone actually laughed at me simply for asking if a product was in stock.
Yeah, they were like sold out for 2 holiday seasons of that system.
Oh my goodness.
It was ridiculous. They were printing money. It's just printing it.
Yeah.
So they can afford to take it. Like we've talked about Nintendo for a while now, even on RDGH. Like they are not losing any money on these consoles. Like yeah, they're probably losing money keeping them on the shelves, but
they're making more profits off of each console.
Yeah, each console is making them profit. They're not losing a single dollar. So
that's actually pretty smart in a way. I mean, they should have sold the Wii U differently than they did. I mean, by the way, I think a while ago I said Wii U when I meant original Wii, but that's another story. It was clear from the beginning they did not know how to sell this thing.
Well, see, that's the thing. I don't think it really mattered. Like we keep talking about how bad the Wii U is doing, but all the money, if they are losing money, they're just making it back with the 3DS.
That's true.
The 3DS is pretty much almost the same price as the Wii U.
Yeah, and that's kind of disappointing in a way.
And now that they released, in Japan they released, the brand new version of the 3DS, the bigger screen, the better upgrades, the second analog stick, which looks dreadful, by the way. That second analog stick is terrible.
I haven't seen it. Just looks like the little C button thing that was on the GameCube.
It doesn't even look like an analog stick. It just looks like some square knob over there. So, but they're making so much money on the 3DS, and that's just offsetting the poor sales of the Wii U. Everybody keeps saying Nintendo's in trouble. This is bad. This is bad. I don't think they're as in much trouble as people think they are.
No, they're taking their time, but they're going where they're going. So
this is not the first time Nintendo has been in this position, and it's definitely not going to be. They were in this position with Sega. They were in this position with Sony. They're in this position now with Microsoft and Sony, and they're just going to keep coming, and I wouldn't be surprised.
We've got 9 lives here.
Yeah, Nintendo. That's the thing with Nintendo. They are solely a video game company. Microsoft and Nintendo do other things too. So they know this business. In my opinion, I think they know the video game business better than the two of those guys.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you say that, and yes, it's true that Sony does other things, but Sony's been doing this for a long time. I mean, Nintendo's been doing it for longer, yes, but Sony has been in the video game business for a long, long time. This is the 20th anniversary of PlayStation. So it's been 2 decades. I mean, quite clearly, I mean, the PS4 is selling extremely well. The Wii U was not. The original Wii did. I mean, it's hard to say that one knows more than the other because, let's face it, Sony had a really low point in 2006, Xbox had a really low point last year, Nintendo had a really low point with the Wii U. There are ups and downs. But I don't know. I hesitate to say that Nintendo simply outclasses Sony just because it's been in the business for a long time.
No, I'm not going to say outclasses. I just think they have the better experience.
Mm-hmm.
The minds at Nintendo, I think, have more experience in the industry than the minds of Sony or Microsoft.
That's possible. Anything's possible. While we're talking about Nintendo, let's talk about Club Nintendo here. The Club Nintendo program has faced some criticism from gamers. Criticism like, why the heck does this exist? For those of you who don't know what Club Nintendo is, whenever you buy a Nintendo console or game, you earn Club Nintendo. It's a point system. You get coins for buying Nintendo stuff. And now there are actually physical rewards for those coins. It's all been digital stuff so far. So now, for example, if you have 700 points, you get an NES Remix shirt in 2 sizes, either large or extra large. It's good for me. I'm 6'7", by the way, so extra large is my area. There are also some 3DS game cases. There's there's a bunch of stuff. So check out Club Nintendo if you haven't done it for a while. If you're a Nintendo fan and you have a bunch of Nintendo stuff and you've been neglecting Club Nintendo, now's a good time to find your old game cases and enter those codes, because there might be some rewards that are actually worthwhile on Club Nintendo. Have you guys been into Club Nintendo at all lately?
I have, yeah. I've been putting all my points. I think I have like 2,100 points now.
What? Dude, go buy a shirt.
Go buy a shirt.
Yeah, go buy a shirt. Go buy.
I might buy a shirt actually, but the thing is, I know like once maybe twice a year, Nintendo rewards the club reward thing with a pretty high profile game.
Oh.
So I'm gonna wait out on that. I know when my friend got when I bought a Wii U for my best friend for Christmas 2 years ago, he was able to get the new Super Mario Brothers Wii U version through Club Nintendo.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I might get a shirt, but I'm still gonna kind of maybe wait out because I know eventually something good is gonna come.
I linked you the article. You can see that shirt. It's pretty sweet.
Is that the Metroid shooting the blocks in the Mario game?
Yeah,
That shirt is cool. I like that shirt.
that's a good shirt.
It's like my game doesn't mesh with this one. I can't do it.
You know what sucks? The little character Samus is in midair above like the opening in the floor, and it does not look like she's gonna make that jump.
No.
It does not. So that's interesting. Good luck to Samus. So, speaking of things that have 9 lives, we've been hearing we've been hearing a lot about DRIVECLUB lately. Let me just read you this statement from DRIVECLUB's official Facebook page. Here it goes. Everyone here at Evolution Studios wants to say thank you for the truly overwhelming level of support from you this year, especially in the time since DRIVECLUB launched in October. Your messages, your feedback, your hot lap videos on YouTube, and all of the absolutely amazing screenshots you've shared have all been a huge source of inspiration for the team. You've all been amazing, and we're extremely thankful for your continued support. We have many more updates in the works for the servers and for the game, which we're looking forward to sharing with you in the new year. In the meantime, please don't forget to claim all of the free DRIVECLUB downloads from the PlayStation Store if you haven't already. And please keep sharing your thoughts and feedback with us so that DRIVECLUB can continue to evolve around you in 2015. Thank you all again. We really are uplifted by you on a daily basis. We hope that you all have a great holiday season, and we wish you a very happy new year. DRIVECLUB, Evolution, oh my goodness. This was a game that first made an appearance, like an actual appearance, at E3 last year, and it was about 30% done, and people were crapping all over it just because it didn't look good. And they ignored the fact that it was 30% done, and that was probably why it didn't look good. Then there was significant excitement for it going into the launch of PlayStation, because it was supposed to be bundled with the PlayStation, and it was also supposed to be the first thing that you get with PlayStation Plus, because there was a free version for PlayStation Plus. Then it was delayed. It was delayed until just a few months ago in October. That's almost a full year. And during that year, we got the most delicious looking screenshots and little video tidbits from Evolution, just teasers of what was to come. And the game looked graphically phenomenal. And there was no weather system and there was no anything, but it still looked so pretty. Weather system was eventually announced. Then launch day came. We got to review the game at PSU, and we enjoyed it. But launch day came, and the game fell to pieces. Servers were not working, people could not get online, and that's a significant deal with this game, because DRIVECLUB is about being social. It's about driving with people using the internet. And so if the game can't get on the internet, there isn't much game left. And so people, and not only that, but the free version for the PlayStation Plus, that still hasn't made an appearance to this day. So people were pretty upset. They were like, I can't get the PlayStation Plus free version. That was going to be my deciding factor for whether or not I got the game. That would be my way to try it out first. And I can't try it out first, so I'm not going to get the game. People who did pay for the game were upset because they couldn't play most of the game, because they couldn't get onto the servers. It was a fiasco. It was a disaster. And I felt so bad for Evolution, because they clearly poured their heart and soul into this game for the better part of a decade. And it's just give you a taste of the detail, they took 7 months to put each car from real life into the game. Thousands of pictures. I mean, every little detail that you would expect. I mean, it's a gorgeous game, as evidenced by the screenshots that have come out. Now with the 1.9 patch, the servers are working beautifully right now. Still could use some tweaks here and there. I've heard of some little problems, but for the most part, they're up, they're working, and people are enjoying the game. There has been a patch that has included not only the weather effects, which, oh my goodness, these weather effects are they make your mouth water. The weather effects are absolutely gorgeous, but now there's also a photo mode, just like in infamous Second Son, and I believe another game had it. I can't recall which one right now.
Mordor. Shadow of Mordor has the photo mode.
Oh, Mordor! I don't know. I haven't played Mordor. So
Last of Us.
Last of Us doesn't have a photo mode.
Yeah, it does.
It does?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, a few games have had a photo mode for PlayStation, so I'll just skip the minutia of finding out which ones. But there's now a photo mode for DRIVECLUB, so gorgeous game combined with brilliant weather effects, combined with photo mode. The screenshots, like if you have not seen the screenshots, all you have to do is go to Google and search for DRIVECLUB screenshots. If you just want like a mind orgasm for a few minutes, just go ahead and look at those screenshots. We haven't seen graphics quite like this on a video game. And I know I'm tooting a big horn for DRIVECLUB right now, but I feel like I can safely say we have never seen graphics like this for a console video game before. Like, they are absolutely stunning, and the screenshots that people have come up with, the photographic effects that they've been able to put into them using the photo mode are absolutely stunning. And so here's this game. Not too long ago, I'm going to link you their Facebook page just so you guys can see some of these screenshots. I know you've seen some of them before, but just take a look right now just for fun. This is a game that has been through the ringer. It had the first bit of bad news with the 30% thing. It got delayed. People were unhappy about the delay. It launched, and the launch was a disaster. And yet somehow this game is still living. People are talking about DRIVECLUB. People are drooling over these screenshots. People want to play the game. The game still has a healthy amount of support. And despite all of this turbulence up toward its launch, and even just after its launch, DRIVECLUB still lives. I don't even know what to say. This game has 9 lives here, and it's a phenomenal game. It's a lot of fun. They made some tweaks to some of the penalty systems. Some of the penalty systems were over-aggressive, like the cornering and collisioning penalties. They still could use some tweaking, in my opinion, but they're a lot more fair now. The game just runs fantastically, and it looks great. It's a lot of fun. Check it out if you haven't already. But I don't even know what to say about Evolution. I had a feeling that this game could come back. I think I said that on RDGH at one point. The game could still come back if they market it well. They still have the free version that's going to come out soon. The free version isn't even out yet, and people are still drooling over DRIVECLUB. Guys, how do you think they've been doing this? Like, what do you think about DRIVECLUB and how far it's come, and how far it fell, and then how far it's come again?
I think it's the passion of the developers, quite honestly. I think they're also one of the studios that are actually listening to the feedback. A lot of studios take feedback and then they don't do anything with it. And I think all the feedback that they've gotten, they've tried to fix as many of the issues that they can. I know the servers are a lot better now, but they're still not 100% good. But I just think the developers. They keep adding things to they added the weather stuff, dynamic weather, which is amazing. Not a lot of games even have dynamic weather. To name any game that has dynamic weather, it's pretty hard to find one, and it's fantastic that they did that. Obviously the graphics are amazing, but to me personally, I just think it's the drive of the developers and the communication that they have with the fans and the community of that game that's really helping that game stay alive to this day.
Let's just have here's something that Paradigger, I don't know how to pronounce their name, but they said that DRIVECLUB is in a league of its own and the best looking racing game to date. This is just graphic stuff, yes. There are still some things that I'd like to see them do in the mechanics of the game. But basically, Paradiger, I'm just going to call him Paradiger. Paradiger did a kind of re-review of Drive Club, and after that, after re-reviewing Drive Club, they gave it a 9. Which is interesting, which is very, very interesting, because Kyle Prawl, who you will meet at some point, he is part of 4GO. Kyle Prawl got to review Drive Club for PSU, and he gave it a 9, and people flipped out. Like, this was right after Sony released a trailer that happened to call Drive Club a Forza killer of some sort. Then Kyle gave it a 9, and people flipped out. And, PSU's biased because it's a PlayStation site. Who pays you to review this game? Other companies are giving it a 6 or a 7 or whatever. And, now here's another company giving it a 9. And it's like, I'm kind of sticking... I mean, I really haven't wavered. I got to play the game with Kyle a bit when he reviewed it. And I think the game deserves a 9. I think... Well, I don't know if it deserves...
I think he gave it a 9.5.
At the time... Oh, 9.5? Okay. Well, at the time, I'm not sure. I feel like I don't want to grade a game based on potential. I want to grade it based on what's been published. And as at the time of the review, the servers were working perfectly fine. There were no weather effects, no photo mode, but the servers were working, and the game was running beautifully. And so, with that, I mean, I would have at least have given it an 8. It was still a really great game. It was beautiful. But now with all the stuff that they've added and just you can spend so much time in the photo mode, it's like another dimension in the game. I mean, now we have more people giving Drive Club the credit.
I think there's one, I wouldn't say sure way, but a very good way that they can bring this game back, make it as successful as it probably should have been when it launched. And that's to re-release the game with all the updates, as Square Enix did with Final Fantasy XIV.
Do you think it might be too soon for that, though? Because the release date was in October, just a couple months ago.
Not if you do it in, mid 2015. I think that you can get away with it. And then give the people the free PS Plus version that you promised them.
Well, the PS Plus version does give them a bit of a unique opportunity here, because you have a game that's it's coming back. There's still a lot of talk. People are talking about it. It's in a good place, but it still hasn't come back to what it could have been. So now there is an opportunity with the free PS Plus edition. What if with the free PS Plus edition, Evolution were to release Drive Club the Complete Edition, like Need for Speed Rivals did, or something like that, and just do what you said there. Just include all of the patches, include the free content, maybe include something extra, maybe make a bundle with the season pass. Just re-release the game, get people talking about it again. Say, hey, it's fixed, here it is, and re-release it alongside the PS Plus Edition as it was originally intended.
Yeah, and this will be the best way, not only for Evolution to get a lot of credibility back, because I think they did lose some credibility because of that launch, whether it was their fault or not, and it'll help Sony tremendously as well, because Sony put a lot of time and money and effort into this game as well.
But re-releasing a game, that takes more time and money and effort. Do you think it's worth doing that? Whereas you can just release it as a patch, as they have been?
I think it is worth doing it, because new people really aren't buying that game right now. Everybody's now waiting for Project Cars or another racing game. Well, we talked about this on RDGH when we talked. Is it too late for Drive Club? And we both said no, it's not too late, but it's going to be really hard if they just continue to patch it and tell people, oh, just go buy the game and download this 15 gig patch that's going to have all these updates that we've been releasing over, throughout the times. I think re-releasing it as like you said, a complete edition, or just say a thank you edition. Just name it the thank you edition, or something like that, or we're sorry edition. I don't care.
No, not the we're sorry edition. That's a bad one.
Just something like that, and hell, Drive Club remastered. I don't care what you call it, but I think
why would this game need to be remastered? Oh my goodness!
A road redrawn.
Road redrawn. There you go.
That's what I'm saying, though. Final Fantasy XIV failed miserably.
Oh yes.
But Square didn't give up on that game. They pretty much retooled that entire game and re-released it, and now it's one of the most successful MMOs on the market.
Right.
And DriveClub can be that exact same thing.
But that's the thing, though. If they were to do that, if they were to re-release DriveClub, it would all be for show, because the servers are fixed. Final Fantasy XIV had things that were seriously bad. Like they had, like you said, they had to retool the whole game. And that is something that, yeah, definitely warrants a full re-release. But DriveClub just had some server issues. And now that the servers are already working again, if they were to re-release the game, it would literally be just for show.
I still personally think re-releasing is the best option.
Okay. I mean, there's definitely a PR benefit to that. There is you could consider it an investment, because the good PR that can come off of going back and saying, hey, here's the thank you edition. If you guys stuck with us, we've got DriveClub here as it was supposed to be. Here's how we envision DriveClub to be re-released in a brand new package. And they just sold thank you editions for like a month or so, and then just sold the regular game as the thank you edition.
Yeah, and people who bought it, they can just upgrade to whatever the stuff they're going to include in this one, if they include anything specific for it.
Yeah. So, that could be an investment, because that would generate a lot of good PR for them. But it would still be pretty expensive.
Probably. Well, that depends on how much, Like, personally, I didn't see a lot of marketing for DriveClub. Like, I didn't see any TV commercials. I didn't see any, website takeovers on a lot of sites for that game.
I saw a TV commercial.
Did you? I never saw one.
I didn't think it was a very good TV commercial, but I saw a TV commercial.
See, if you go in and you re-advertise the game, with all these new features, release new trailers that show the dynamic weather and all these additions they made to the game, I think you can pretty much resell it as a brand new game.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see what they do. All I know is they're on a good track right now. No pun intended. They're really working with DriveClub and making it a really great looking game. So if you haven't picked up DriveClub, at this point, I'd say it's worth it. This is a good game.
See, I'm one of those people who's waiting to try it before I buy it, because I'm not a huge racing. I'm more of an arcadey racing guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
that's the thing, though, because I have Forza Horizon 2. That was one of my must-haves for my Xbox One. And, I love Forza Horizon 2 already, just because it feels like a lot of fun. But here's the thing with Forza. When you pick up Forza for the first time and you start driving your car, your vehicle just, you will spin out at like 40 miles an hour. Like, you will just start fishtailing everywhere, and it's ridiculous. I'm like, how can anyone play this game like that? And then I learned, you have to tune your car. It's kind of like the way Gran Turismo does it. And to me, that's not that fun. Because you go into the tuning menu and it asks you about, tire pressure and all that sort of stuff. And that's great and all, but I'm not that much of a car guy. There are little descriptions there that kind of give you an idea of what different things do, but I don't want to spend hours dealing with the minutia of tuning a car. I want to race, And so, if I don't do this, my car basically it sucks. I just slide all over the road like a freaking figure skater. I'm sure I've done like a triple axel in my car at some point. But like,
that's the analogy.
Like,
skater.
I'm just sliding everywhere, and other racers can beat me because there isn't tuning, there isn't this or there isn't that, and I have no idea what I'm doing. And to me, that really drags the whole game down for me, because I have no idea what I'm doing. In order to enjoy this game, I need to do this stuff, and I don't know how to do this stuff, and there isn't really much to teach me how to do this stuff. So that sucks. DriveClub doesn't really have that. It goes more along the Need for Speed line. It's kind of arcadey. There is some realism to the handling, but not that much realism with Forza. So in a way, it is still kind of arcade. It's about having fun there and doing your race, and there are different ways you can customize the way your vehicle looks, but there isn't really a big tuning aspect to it. That is, a lot of people love tuning when it comes to racers, but they have to face the fact that is a niche. Not everyone who likes playing racing games is a car enthusiast and knows how to tune a car. So. But Forza is definitely for those enthusiasts. So I'm struggling with that one right now.
Yeah, I'm one of those people who's gonna wait to try it out before I buy it.
Yeah, I think you'll like it. I think you'll like it. It's not, the handling on it is arcadey enough that I think you'll like it. So that's Drive Club. Let's talk one more time about Ubisoft, just because. Yeah. Just because this is probably good information for people to know. This article came out today on GameSpot. Assassin's Creed, apparently there's a lawsuit, or Ubisoft was worried about a lawsuit of some sort for how the game launched. And, that's just like America. It's like, oh, something happened, let's sue everybody. So whatever. But just to protect themselves against lawsuits, there has been a free game offer with Assassin's Creed Unity. Like you get a free Ubisoft game. A lot of people don't read fine print, but here's the deal: when you take this free game, you are waiving your right to sue Ubisoft for any reason related to Assassin's Creed's Unity at all. All right. Here's what GameSpot says verbatim. He says, those who claim a free game, according to the fine print, are agreeing to never sue Ubisoft over Unity's woes or the now diminished value of the game's DLC pass. So you cannot sue Unity or sue Ubisoft for Assassin's Creed Unity if you have accepted a free game from them. And if you did not know that, and if you would have done differently before accepting the free game, if you had known this, well, I hate to say it this way, but that's why you read the terms. I don't read the terms. I don't usually read the terms, but that's exactly why they put those things in the terms, and I think that's exactly why they make the terms as boring as possible to read. I wish there was a service out there that sorts through this legalese and explains terms in a very. Oh, look, we lost all our white noise. Gary's gone. Are you still there, Ben?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, well, when the white noise comes back, we'll know that Gary's here. So that's the thing with Assassin's Creed Unity. Ben, you've played Unity, right?
Yeah, it's not that great.
Not that great. How about now? I heard that they fixed a lot of what was wrong with it.
I haven't played it for a long time, so.
Well, I got it for my Xbox One just because it was on sale for like $30 or something like that. And I played it for a day. Sounds like Gary's back. I played it for a couple hours in a day. And once you've played Assassin's Creed, any Assassin's Creed, you've pretty much played them all. And so this just kind of felt like more of the same to me. And it didn't really interest me that much. Like, I was in there already. I was playing it, and I already felt like, oh, this again. This again. So that's what I traded, and I got Forza Horizon 2. So there goes that. But anyway, Ben, what do you know about the whole free game offer and lawsuits?
All I know is they owe me a free game and they haven't given me it.
Have you not called them about that yet? You need to contact them about that.
I've contacted them with they contact support. I use their website, and they want me to send a digital picture of the receipt of my season pass with me writing my Ubisoft name on it.
Okay. So I guess they don't believe that you bought a season pass?
Yeah, they don't believe it, or they want my picture of my account details for PSN to prove that I've got my season pass.
Well, hey, I mean, that's a cheap price to pay for a free game.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't really want them to see my... Well, I don't mind the Ubisoft thing, but how do they know that season pass has been redeemed on that account? There's no real proof of me, just anyone can write it down on a receipt.
That's true.
But,
you could write my name down on the receipt and they'd be fine.
Yeah.
But I think the whole idea is they just want to see the receipt. They just want to see that you bought it. Which maybe...
Anyway, I'm going to give them a few more days to see if it'll just pop up on my account.
Yeah.
They said up to 10 days after, till the 27th, so we'll see.
Okay. How about you, Gary? Have you had anything to do with Assassin's Creed Unity?
Not with Unity. I bought Black Flag because it was buy two, get one free on Amazon on PS4 games when it was first coming out. So that's the only reason I got that. I only played it for like 5 hours and then I got bored of it because it was the same thing over and over like the last Assassin's Creed were. But as far as Unity goes, I find it quite funny that Ubisoft, who is a French company, will take the one game that probably should matter the most to them which is the French Revolution, and screw it up this bad way. Like, this is the one game you should not screw up.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah, Ubisoft is a French company.
Yeah, and you screwed up the game.
French Revolution.
Yeah, the French Revolution.
My goodness.
So I personally found that quite funny, but I think it's just a sign of a lot of things wrong with not only the industry but with Ubisoft when it comes to throw as many people as you can into the game. I mean, 8 studios worked on this game. 8 studios, maybe more that I don't know about.
You know, the whole fanboy war thing, a lot of people say, oh, well, you know, Microsoft is the richer company, so I'm going to go with them. And, you know, in any industry, more money does not mean you're better. I'm sorry, like, you cannot make a good product just by having money. The money is not going to get up. George Washington and Benjamin Franklin and all those people that are printed on the money, and the Queen of England, whoever, they're not going to come out of their frames on the dollar bills or the pound bills and start building the game for you. You know, you have to have the right ideas, you have to have the right people, you have to have the right methods, you have to have the right team, you have to have the right skill. It's not just about money, and it's not nearly just about size. You have to go for quality. And so it feels like Ubisoft has kind of been throwing its weight around a little bit. Not necessarily like in relation to bullying other companies, but just kind of saying, hey, we're big, so let's just throw everyone on this project. And I think that's kind of been biting them in the butt. So.
Yeah, and you know, it was a sign early on in the year with Watch Dogs. You know,
Watch Dogs.
Yeah, I mean, I think the worst thing about the whole situation is the fact that, you know, Assassin's Creed Unity came out, and literally less than a month after it came out, they went ahead and announced the next Assassin's Creed. They even had screenshots of it. They were test screenshots taken, but now we know the location.
London.
Yes, London, Victorian-era London. And we know some of the new things they're adding to it, like they're adding a grappling hook to it. So it's pretty much your Batman in Victorian London now. Is pretty much what it is.
I'm listening to you say this, and I already feel bored. I am already bored. London again, like
again. They've never done London.
I mean, they've been in England. They've done all.
No, they haven't.
Yes, they have. When have they not?
When have they been in England?
They've been in like old England.
No, they haven't.
No, that was no. You're thinking of the Crusades in the first game. That was not in England. That was in Jerusalem and all those areas there.
I don't even care that I got that wrong. Like this whole franchise just bores me to tears. Like I liked Black Flag. I haven't finished Black Flag. I'd still like to finish Black Flag because there's just so much more to Black Flag. Like, you're not in there doing the same thing all the time. The whole thing with the pirate ship, that adds another dimension to the game that is sorely, sorely, sorely needed in the Assassin's Creed franchise, in my opinion. I just don't. I give zero. I give zero.
I'm personally, I love the area. That's because my personal love for Victorian London. I'm very fascinated by that time period. Especially like in history, so I am kind of my eyebrows are raised for the game, but I'm probably not gonna buy it.
Call me when Assassin's Creed goes to Asia. Call me when we get feudal Japan or we go to China or Korea.
Well, we got that 2D China game next year, don't we?
No, I'm talking like an actual Assassin's Creed game. I'm not.
By the way, I find it funny that Unity has full English accents. Everyone sounds British in France.
Yeah, they're French.
French British.
They're Fritish.
Frenchist.
So I just sorry, going back to the point. I just feel like Ubisoft let everything go to their head. Which happens to it's happened to EA, it's happened to Activision, it's happened to Square, Capcom for sure. It's happened to with Resident Evil, but it's one of those things like you have to learn from it, and I don't think Ubisoft is a company that's going to learn from it, and that's the scary thing to me. They have probably one of the most anticipated games of this generation coming out right now that we know of that's been announced, and that's The Division. And they're now throwing more studios to work on the game instead of letting the one studio who started it, Massively Entertainment. They're now they added 4 more studios to help them make that game.
Yeah, and that's a problem because why would you go ahead and throw all these extra cooks in the kitchen when the cook that had the freaking idea in the first place is already there? Like, that just muddles things up.
Yeah.
That just muddles things up.
It's funny. The whole situation brings me to this forum post that an anonymous developer that worked on Watch Dogs posted on, I think it was NeoGAF actually. He posted that he had this job where he had to build this kind of like this dive bar, like a biker dive bar. And he designed the inside of it. His job was to design the inside of it. So he designed the inside, he's got a pool table, a karaoke machine, pretty much everything you'd probably find in like one of those, like Sons of Anarchy dive bar, like that you see in the movies, or a bunch of bikers hanging out, things like that. And somebody else on the other side of the planet, I think this guy was like in France, and another guy that was in Canada, he was tasked with designing the outside of this bar. And he designed like this bar to have palm trees and like something you'd find in a resort. So then when they came together, it looked so terrible because you got like this ugly dive bar on the inside and this nice tropical bar on the outside, because there's just no communication between the two.
You've got to be on the same page in order for things like that to work.
It's terrible, and it sucks. That game was, I had such hope for that game, and now I have like a 10% faith that game is going to be as great as it has been shown off to be.
Just with Ubisoft's track record, I've said it before, Ubisoft has proven that they have absolutely no clue what they're doing in 2014. And it mystifies me with what we've seen with both the Wii U, with the PS4, and not the PS4, the PS3 in 2006, and the Xbox One last year. When is a big developer that just makes a hit game, when are they going to come out and say, you know what, we're just going to stay humble for a bit? We're just going to stay humble for a bit because we have seen what happens when people let this stupid thing go to their heads. When are one of these big companies just going to say, hey, we made an awesome game, but we need to bring ourselves down a level to make sure we can keep it as awesome as it is?
Yeah. And it makes me sad because they released, in my opinion, 2 of the best games this year, and Child of Light and Valiant Hearts: The Great War, which are these 2 small titles developed by one studio. It was an Ubisoft studio. It's not an indie studio. It's one of their big studios, but it was one studio. And it was just a small team from that studio that worked on it. And they were such a great, amazing games, in my opinion. And then they go and do their big massive AAA titles, and they disappointed so badly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there's that. Ubisoft's, I don't know what you're doing, man. I don't know what you're doing. Oh, man. What a mess. It feels like such a mess, because Ubisoft was one of my big... it was one of the studios that I thought was going to be really successful, like, for a long time, because they got really big, and yet they still seemed to release consistent quality. The mechanics of Assassin's Creed aside in that statement, they seem to tend to release pretty good quality with their games, and so I had high hopes for them, and just 2014 was just their fall, man. I think it's just their overhyping of their games, personally. I think they need to experience rock bottom. That's what every company does. That's what PS4 and Xbox One has done so far. They need to experience rock bottom. They need to experience what it's like when they're just like, they need to experience that moment where it's like, what have we been doing all this time? Yeah, they need to experience the moment where everybody, their whole community is just hating on them, no matter what they do, even if it's a good thing that they do. Man, what a pain. Anyway, enough talk about failure. Let's talk about success for a moment. We hope 4GO is going to be a success. We are definitely going to make use of our initials here and just say, forego all the fanboy nonsense in the gaming industry. Just forego all of that and just be gamers. We like to talk about games. We like to talk about developers. We like to talk about communities. We are not here to fight over systems and to count pixels and all of that nonsense that you see on the internet all the time. This is episode 1. And as we grow, we're going to hopefully add more and improve our quality, improve our consistency. We'd love to have you guys aboard. Go to Twitter, find us, and just give us feedback. We'd like to know what you think and what you think we could be doing better. Find us on iTunes. I believe it's going to be for gamers only, spelled out FORGAMERSONLY, 3 words. For gamers only on iTunes. We're also going to be on SoundCloud. Go to soundcloud.com/4GO, number 4, letter G, letter O. And we're also going to be on YouTube. I haven't made our YouTube account yet, so we will be on YouTube later. But if I can, it'll be youtube.com/4GO, just like SoundCloud. So definitely just follow us and tell your friends about us. And we hope that you continue to listen to us going forward. I am your host, Glenn Gordon. If you want to, you can reach me on Twitter at @GoGlenn_, at GOGLENN_, or by email at glenn.gordon@psu.com. That's right, I still do work for PSU. Ben, how can people reach you, Mr. Quiet?
You can stalk me on PSN as Chili_UK Twitter, Chili on PSU, Chili on NeoGAF. Ben.shillerbearhall@psu.com. Remember, also, I'm now Twitch TV channel manager for PlayStationUniverse.com, so if you want to know about the future of streaming, contact me at PSU Live on Twitch. Or you can personally email me then if you want. IVE Bean, BEENTAKEN @hotmail.com.
I've been taken.
Yeah,
Okay. We'll leave people to interpret that as they please. Gary, how can people contact you, sir?
You can contact me on Twitter at Gagaush, that's GAGLAUSH, or at my PSU email, that's Gary, GARRI, @psu.com. You can also reach me on my personal email, which is, again, Gagaush, GAGLAUSH, @gmail.com. Or you can contact me on PSN if you want. Again, it's Gagaush is my PSN ID name. So, and also on Steam if you want to do that. Same thing, Gagaush.
Gagaush. Guys, you'll quickly find that we love promoting great music that gamers might enjoy, and we frequently pull from a little place on the internet called Overclocked Remix. Musicians there create incredible remixes of video game music. The music is then evaluated by OC Remix's judges before being published as part of OC Remix's library. To date, they have about 3,000 individual songs, all downloadable together via a torrent file. Our intro and outro this episode are both from OC Remix. The intro is called Crystal Cipher. It's a remix from Mega Man X3, or X Cubed, I'm not sure what they were going for there, done by Benjamin Briggs, DJJD, and Ectogemia from OC Remix. The outro is called The Icy Journey Through Hope and Sorrow, and it's a remix from Sonic and the Black Knight, done by Argle and Cosmic Sounds. To download these songs and many more amazing video game remixes in full and for free, go to ocremix.org, that's ocremix.org, not .com. Alright guys, episode 1 is in the books. We hope for longevity here. We want to get as far with this as possible. So remember to follow us, tell your friends, follow us on Twitter at 4G only, and we will see you, or we won't, it's audio, but you will hear us next week with episode 2 of 4GO. Until then, guys, we wish you a great week in great gaming. We are 4 gamers only.
Or 4 goats only.
Oh my goodness, Ben.
Also, believe in Gary.
I have no words.
Except to believe.
No.
It's okay, I've thought of new ones for every week.
Okay.